I'm a big fan of yours. I'm really excited to meet you.
Oh, well, thank you, bro.
He doesn't cast safe, and he never casts by numbers. Quentin Tarantino casts the way a gunslinger fires, fast, instinctive, and with deadly precision. Once you're in his frame, you're no longer just an actor. You become part of the myth.
So for Pumpkin, we will offer the movie to Tim Roth.
If this is the kind of film history you want more of, unfiltered, behind the scenes, and focused on what really shapes great cinema, subscribe now. What comes next only gets more personal. For over 3 decades, Quentin Tarantino has flipped the entire film industry upside down. His movies explode with sharp dialogue, intense style, and scenes that balance violence with wicked irony. But hidden beneath all that cinematic chaos lies something deeper, a fierce, almost unshakable sense of loyalty. Tarantino doesn't just cast people, he forms unbreakable bonds. When he finds an actor who understands his rhythm, those long silences, the sudden bursts of tension, the madness simmering under every line, he holds on tight. Fame doesn't matter to him. What matters is chemistry, that electric frequency where creativity and instinct collide. From Pulp Fiction to Kill Bill, from Inglourious Basterds to Django Unchained, the styles may shift and decades may roll by, but his circle of trusted performers remains solid. He doesn't simply hand them roles, he builds entire cinematic worlds around their voices, their presence, their power. When that magic hits the screen, you're not just seeing acting, you're witnessing something haunting, almost spiritual. It's not performance anymore, it's possession.
I mean, Tim Roth is a very fine actor, and I know you just worked with him on Reservoir Dogs, so I'm sure that there's a connection and a loyalty there.
Over the years, Quentin Tarantino has shared the screen with countless actors, but only a select few truly speak his unique cinematic language. These are the people who don't just perform, they understand him. They know how to challenge his ideas without throwing his vision off course, pushing his work to new heights without ever snapping its core in two. Among them stand 6 extraordinary performers, the ones he keeps closest to the creative fire. They are the steady heartbeat behind his chaos, the calm within his storms, and the reason Tarantino has never needed to search far for brilliance. Each one of them fuels his imagination, turning his wildest scripts into unforgettable moments on screen. Samuel L. Jackson, the cornerstone. Some collaborations aren't born from contracts, they ignite from a single voice that changes everything. When Samuel L. Jackson walked into that room to read for Pulp Fiction, Tarantino didn't just find an actor, he found the sound he'd been waiting for all along. Jules Winfield wasn't simply cast, he was claimed. Jackson later said he didn't audition for that role, he took it. That moment rewired Tarantino's entire approach to writing. From then on, his characters weren't floating ideas on a page anymore. They had rhythm, they had breath, they had Samuel L. Jackson written all over them. Jackson doesn't just speak dialogue, he commands it. Every sermon, every pause, every explosion of fury is orchestrated with precision. Tarantino has said many times that Jackson isn't just a part of his cinematic world, he is the world itself. By the time The Hateful Eight hit the screen, there was no argument left to make. Jackson wasn't being cast anymore. He was being restored to his rightful place at the center of Tarantino's vision. When his voice lowers and his stare freezes the air, you're not witnessing a performance. You're staring straight at authority itself.
Ha ha! It ain't so far-fetched, Senor Bob.
For Tarantino, greatness isn't measured by how loud a scene gets. It's all about timing. And that's exactly where Samuel L. Jackson reigns supreme. Every pause, every glare, every perfectly measured breath carries more weight than a dozen shouted lines could ever hold. Tarantino once said without a hint of doubt, "He's my De Niro, my Eastwood, my everything." Those words say it all. Jackson isn't just another actor stepping into Tarantino's universe, he's the very foundation it rests upon. Without him, the rhythm, the tension, and the soul of those stories simply wouldn't exist. Uma Thurman, the myth made flesh. Tarantino didn't just create a role for Uma Thurman, he built an entire mythology around her. Long before Kill Bill, she had already carved her name deep into pop culture as Mia Wallace, mysterious, dangerous, and hypnotic with every flick of her cigarette and every measured silence. Tarantino didn't need to control her, he trusted her completely, knowing that her instincts would bring his vision to life in ways no direction ever could. That trust changed everything about how he wrote. When Kill Bill came along, there wasn't an audition, not even a short list. There was just a phone call. The Bride wasn't written for any actress in Hollywood. She was written for one Uma Thurman. But their partnership wasn't without scars. The terrifying on-set accident during Kill Bill almost broke their bond forever. Yet neither of them walked away. Years later, Thurman openly called their connection complicated, but deeply real. And that honesty is why their collaboration endures. Tarantino never replaced her, never even tried, because legends don't get rewritten. They wait for their moment to rise again.
It was 6 months of training 5 days a week from 9 to 5.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Tarantino once admitted that he may never create a character more powerful than the Bride, unless, of course, it's with Uma Thurman by his side again. Those words weren't born from sentimentality. They came from something far stronger. For Tarantino, it's not about reliving the past. It's about honoring the rare creative bond that can't be replicated. That isn't nostalgia speaking. That's pure, unwavering loyalty, the kind that defines both the artist and the art itself. Leonardo DiCaprio, the weapon. When Tarantino brought Leonardo DiCaprio into his world, he wasn't hiring a movie star. He was arming himself with a force of nature. In Django Unchained, DiCaprio dove headfirst into the darkness. No hesitation, no filter. His portrayal of Calvin Candy wasn't some cartoonish villain. It was a man utterly convinced of his own righteousness, and that made him absolutely terrifying. Then came that now legendary dinner scene. When DiCaprio slammed his hand onto broken glass and blood started flowing, he never broke character, not for a second. The cameras kept rolling, Tarantino never called cut, and that raw, real moment became film history. That's what total trust looks like on a set. That fearless performance changed everything between them. So when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came around, Tarantino didn't just offer DiCaprio another role, he offered him a legacy. Rick Dalton wasn't up for grabs, it was Leo's or no one's. And what DiCaprio delivered was extraordinary. Vulnerability stripped of vanity, emotion without theatrics. Two performances, worlds apart, one monstrous, one broken, yet both unforgettable.
Hey! So lay your palm flat on that tabletop! If you lift those palms...
Tarantino once said that Leonardo DiCaprio brings history and weight to every role he touches, and he meant it. There's a gravity to DiCaprio's presence that can't be manufactured or taught. It's the kind of power that reshapes a scene the moment he walks into frame. That kind of rare force isn't chosen through auditions or chance. It's woven directly into the script itself. When Tarantino writes for DiCaprio, he isn't casting, he's creating something destined. Christoph Waltz, the miracle. Before Inglourious Bastards, Christoph Waltz was almost a secret, a hidden gem known mostly in Europe. The role of Colonel Hans Landa had been labeled impossible to play, a part so complex that Tarantino was ready to scrap the entire film rather than settle for less. And then Waltz stepped into the room and everything changed. From his very first scene, he didn't just perform, he rescued the film. His Landa wasn't simply portrayed, he was relished. Every line dripped from his tongue like poison honey, sweet and deadly all at once. You couldn't look away. He was magnetic, terrifying, unforgettable. Tarantino didn't need to direct Waltz, he needed to protect what was unfolding before the camera. 2 films and 2 Oscars later, Waltz proved he wasn't some lucky discovery. He was pure duality in human form. And Tarantino, knowing the value of silence, never overplayed his hand, because instruments that rare aren't meant to perform often. They're meant to strike only when the world goes still and needs their sound. Kurt Russell, the memories. Tarantino doesn't chase nostalgia. He works with memory. And in that memory, Kurt Russell stands as a symbol of a lost cinematic era, one defined by quiet strength, calm intensity, and an unshakable presence that speaks louder than words. As stuntman Mike, he balanced between pitiful and terrifying, a predator haunted by his own insecurities. Then, in The Hateful Eight as the hangman, he brought control to absolute chaos, grounding the madness with pure stillness. Russell doesn't need to dominate a scene. He owns it by doing less. Tarantino once said there's a sadness behind Kurt's eyes that can't be taught or directed. You either have it or you don't, and that truth defines him. That's why Tarantino keeps him close but never overuses him. A presence like that isn't exploited, it's honored.
You mean her? No, I do not have mixed emotions.
Michael Madsen, the original Danger. Michael Madsen has been part of Tarantino's world since the very beginning, almost as if he existed before that cinematic universe was even born. As Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs, he didn't showcase violence with noise or chaos. He made it whisper. His calm, deliberate cruelty was more chilling than any scream could ever be. It was control wrapped in menace, and Tarantino instantly called him family. From Kill Bill to The Hateful Eight, Madsen became more than just a recurring actor. He became part of Tarantino's emotional foundation. He never needed to chase leading roles or demand attention. His quiet presence alone gave scenes their weight and gravity. Tarantino once said, "Madsen makes silence feel like dialogue," and that single line explains everything. He keeps bringing him back not out of nostalgia or habit, but because some energies hold a story together simply by existing. Quentin Tarantino doesn't just cast actors, he absorbs them into his cinematic language. Once he discovers someone who can truly feel his rhythm, master the silences, and ride the madness hidden beneath every line, he doesn't let them fade away. He returns to them time and time again, weaving their presence into the DNA of his stories. Every comeback feels like fate, not repetition. So now it's your turn. Which actor do you think defines Tarantino's universe the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who lives for film. See you in the next one.